What is up, everyone? Welcome back to the Engineers That Filters podcast, episode 125. I'm your host, Jacob Thompson. I am currently hard pouring a Left Hand Brewing Company Nitro Milk Stout.
That pour is terrible.
No, it's you're supposed to hard pour nitro.
Oh,
it's a
okay.
stout.
Yeah, it's Left Hand's Nitro Milk Stout, which I haven't had for a long time. Last time I had it back when we lived at the house, but I like it a lot.
Hey, it's Upper Peninsula Brewery, isn't it?
Nice.
And it's the Left Hand.
And it's damn tasty. I tell you, it's like drinking chocolate milk, but it's 6%. You know what I'm saying?
Oh shit.
Yeah, it's fun because you can't really mess up the pour. Like the harder the better. That's why you get this little head nitro. So.
Oh, you want them? Okay, I got you.
It literally says like on the bottle and everywhere like hard pour. Like I probably wouldn't even drink this out of the bottle if I had the option. Like you want to pour it out. So.
I am disappointed you poured it with your right hand when it's called left hand.
I got a lot of shit going on right now, Gabe. I can't be bothered to do left-handed.
It was one thing. One more thing.
But yeah, that's what I'm drinking tonight.
All right, and then I'm Joseph, and I'm drinking Tropical Oberon.
What is that?
It is a wheat ale with mango, guava, and passion fruit, and it's just like a side Oberon. Like when I first saw it, I thought it was a bottle of Oberon that they left in the sun, and the label got muted. Because it's kind of what it looks like, but no, it's its own different thing, and it's a more tropical version of Oberon.
I was gonna say, does it taste like Oberon even a little bit, or are they just using the brand?
No, it definitely tastes like Oberon. It's just got more fruity flavors with it.
More.
And it's still 5.8%. So
I gotta find me some of that.
Warning: it is, at least where I got it, was over $8 for 4 bottles.
Oof.
So it is pricey. I think because it's just such a limited supply thing. But it's not something I would drink a lot of because it is expensive. But I was curious.
Bells are being a little greedy there. Being a little greedy.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
it's good.
Fuck bells.
Yeah. Fuck the system.
I'm Gabe. I'm back. Hello, everybody. And I'm drinking a Bell's Too Hard. I had some left over from camping, and it's usually my go-to like camping craft beer, just because it's such a fucking staple, you know.
That makes sense. All ABV, so.
And it also is helpful for that.
Yeah.
7 or 8%, I forget.
It's 7.5, I think.
Is it right down the middle?
It should be.
It's 7.0.
Oh.
Too Hard is a beer that everyone likes except for me. It feels like I for some reason just do not like it.
Really?
I mean, it is voted America's best beer.
Yeah.
Number one.
I haven't had it in a while, so maybe I'd like it more if I had it. But it's a little too hoppy for me.
I don't know. I remember when I first started drinking, like ever having it Too Hard. It was like the first like craft beer I ever got my hands on, and I just fucking despised it. I remember like not even finishing it. Like, this is terrible. And then, after acquiring some level of taste, some culture,
some class,
and just really liked the taste of it now. It's just such a solid IPA.
Maybe I'll have to give it another shot then.
You should.
But yeah, we got no Dayton tonight. He is out of town. He's back home. Honestly, I don't remember. It's the summer. Everyone's doing shit. I don't remember what's what. But he'll be back next week. And yeah, welcome back to the podcast, everyone. As always, you can find our show on Mondays on YouTube and podcast services. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram at ewfpodcast and follow us on Twitch at ewf_podcast, where we're live right now, recording the episode early, Thursday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern. We also go live on Monday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern playing some games. This last week, we played some golf with friends, with the 4 of us. I started out doing real bad. All right, I was a train wreck. But then I came back and I did pretty good. So, go check that out. But we had a fun time with throwing on the power-ups and stuff, which I've never done before.
It was
Yeah,
pretty
no,
chaotic.
the power-ups were fun. Nice bonus chaos level
Yeah.
there.
Gotta do that and turn on the ball collision just to piss off whoever's in front.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a good time.
That was fun. I also
Yeah.
want to just do an apology immediately for any video watchers. The light in my room normally has, I think it has 3 lights that like have like a dome underneath it, you know. And one of the lights went out a while ago, but like it's fine. But a second light went out yesterday, and so I feel like as the sun goes down, my room's gonna get real dark. So hopefully my lighting is gonna be okay, but we'll see.
You're just like a little speck of light and darkness.
I know, it's just like, do I have to call somebody? Like, do I call maintenance to get the light bulbs replaced, or I have to do it myself? Because like it's high up there. I got high ceilings, and I don't got a ladder. You know, if I got to track a ladder
Yeah.
down to replace the light bulbs. It's a whole thing.
I mean,
job it is.
Email maintenance in worst case, they say no, right?
Yeah. But they got to come
Maybe
to
they
my
call you
apartment.
stupid. Who knows?
Call me a
I feel like
stupid
it's
baby.
not as bad as you think it's gonna be.
Yeah, it's
But
just
if
a
it's
thing I
tall
have to do.
ceilings, you know, if you can't reach it standing on whatever furniture you have available, then
Yeah, it's probably warranted to call them. But
This is
anyway, let's catch up with our weekly anecdote segment. Gabe, you've been gone. I feel like I don't even know you anymore. I feel like I never see you.
true.
What's been going on in your life?
Well, so we missed 4th of July weekend, right? Because all of us were busy. So I went back to Michigan. I took the Badger over, which is some old ass boat that like ship coal or some shit, and now it shipped people across Wisconsin to Michigan. And I got to see some of my family. I did some camping. Met some really cool people on the boat because you can actually socialize with people now because COVID's canceled for now until the Delta variant or whatever.
For the record, it is not canceled, but we're hopefully getting there.
I'm just telling myself it's canceled. I met some really cool people who were like bike packing from like Washington to Maine. That was pretty cool.
Is that one of those you can put your car on as well? Like,
Yeah. Well, I took my bike over and rode with my dad and did the typical Midwestern lake life stuff, you know. Drank by a lake, drank, played some cards, some typical
drank on a
Midwest
boat,
stuff.
drink on the lake.
Oh, dude, I got so drunk by the time I got picked up. It was awesome. It was so great.
drink by the water, drink in the water,
Yeah.
drink next to the water, drink on top of the water. You know, the whole
water.
gamut.
You know, it's just everything.
It's Midwest culture for sure. And then I was gone last Thursday, because I had took Friday off and drove up to Duluth to do some camping and do some mountain biking. Joseph and Tim, our other roommate who's been on the show, also went along, but I got there early because I was antsy. Set up camp and did some of the like fucking most techie riding I've ever done ever. Just super chunky, big rocky stuff, and then we ended the trip doing a gravity lifted or gravity assisted. So like just it's a Spirit Mountain, which is just
you take a chairlift up.
Yeah, you just take a chairlift up. You gotta use the right terms
that's
for the
fun.
right
That was
seasons.
the first time I went mountain biking was biking down Vale, and that was fucking awesome. You know, I remember going uphill that much, you know, and you could just fucking send it.
Yeah, so the worst part about mountain biking for sure is the going up part. It's pretty hard and not always fun. So that was really cool, but also it was really loose, and like the greens are like the double blacks like everywhere else I've ever been. So it was pretty fucking terrifying. I don't think I've ever used my brakes more ever like on that bike since I went there, but I definitely felt a lot better by the end of it. Like I felt a lot more competent on my bike and a lot more comfortable sending stupid crazy shit. But
how'd they go for you, Joseph?
I did not go to either of the ones he talked about.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because they did the first techie trail in the morning while I was driving up. Because I stayed here and went the next morning. And then I skipped out on the Spirit Mountain part just because of logistics and because Alyssa came with us and we had to be out of the campsite, and like the way we were moving cars, and like she would just be sitting, you know, in the car like waiting for us the whole time. I just kind of felt bad, and I don't know. I was also pretty tired from the day before, so I kind of used that as an excuse too. So I pussied out, but
He just didn't want to go.
You didn't want to
didn't
sit.
want to go.
I was scared. I'll say it. I was scared.
You didn't want to send
You're
Alyssa down those
I don't
either.
want to sit around. It's like you don't want to go. It's fine. Just say you don't want to go.
Well, I mean, yeah, because those can be pretty sketch. Like, I guess, like when I went, it was me and some of my friends. My brother went. My brother never been mountain biking, and doesn't any much regular biking, but he was having the worst time. Like, he was crashing and like going over the handlebars, like not understanding how to brake properly, and it took forever to get down the mountain because he just had to keep stopping. I felt so bad. So it can definitely not be a good time.
Yeah,
and I crashed in Cuyuna, so the last trip we took, I scarred up my knee pretty good.
Yeah.
I didn't want to repeat that, so I. Yeah.
Oh, Gabe's got some battle scars.
Yeah, that's if you guys audio listeners can't see it, but that's a pedal.
I was gonna say it looks like a pedal.
Yeah,
that's the worst, dude. When you have like those, do you have like the metal pedals with like the little?
Oh fuck yeah, I do. They're great when your feet stay on them.
Yeah, but if you fall off and it slams into your shit, it hurts so fucking bad.
It fucking hurts. Yeah, that was like 20 minutes into the first ride too, so I was like,
almost as bad as getting a razor scooter on your shins.
Yeah, no, I think it's worse because I don't know. Some of them are pretty deep. Also, Joseph and I have hardtails, which for people who don't know too much about mountain biking or haven't listened to the mountain biking episode, means you got the shock in the front, but a lot of newer, well, I say a lot of newer bikes. Most new mountain bikes, you also have the option to do full suspension, so there's like a shock in the back, and that's super nice to have. So you don't have to like stand up as much. They're generally like a lot more expensive, and because of that, Joseph and I just didn't get one. So Tim and Nicole both had them, and it was nicer to have that extra suspension on those trails because it's just like I said, it was super loose and super rocky. So some of it was pretty fucking sketchy.
Yeah.
Especially on my bike. So I want a new bike now. But
you just got a new bike.
But like, how often are you be doing that kind of trail? You know, like that's kind of a specific use case.
Well, so we're going back to Houghton here next month. We're going to be doing Copper Harbor, which is 45, 50 minutes north of Houghton, where we all went to school. And that I've heard is kind of similar as far as like the flowy stuff. Pretty loose, kind of rocky, very like natural because there's two big types of trail. You got like the handmade stuff, which is just like people with shovels, and then you got the machine made trails, which are made by big ass machines and stuff. So it kind of smooths out a lot more of the trail. And Copper and Duluth were definitely more in the handmade trail camp.
Yeah.
So pretty fucking rooty and
more rough,
rocky.
More raw, more fun.
Which it's its own. It's fun in its own right. Because like the first two trails we went to were handmade. And you just can't go fast on them, which is fine. Like it's its own challenge. Like, oh, I made it over that rock without fucking up my leg, which I already did. But the machine-made ones, you can definitely like just kind of scream, which are super fun.
Yeah. Yeah, I like those kind of flowy ones where you just go over the humps, and they're definitely machine-made, but like they feel good.
Yeah, and the nice thing about those is pretty much anybody can ride them, right? Like even your brother could ride it and still have just as much fun as someone who is a little bit more experienced and can go like a lot faster on it.
Right.
So that's where I like to ride the most. But I do also like the challenge because like the first trail we went on, we were like, let's just get it done and out of the way because it's known as like being, like I said, super fucking rocky. Like these.
I wish you got a flat the last time, right?
Yeah, I got a flat the last time I went because it's just insane.
Yeah.
And you just like want to get stepped down a peg, so then when you do like the flowy stuff, you're like, oh, this is fucking easy. But a lot of Duluth trails are well, all of them are bi-directional, so you can go both ways. So that was kind of sketchy because you could go down this downhill section for like, I don't know, half a mile, and then there's a person around a blind corner going up, and you're like trying to scream. And a lot of newer trails, they're directional for that reason, so you're not like getting in a bike accident. So
yeah, and then when you're climbing, you don't need to worry about someone screaming around a corner.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, there was a couple times I was just like hauling ass around a corner, and there's just a guy. It was like, oh fuck, and like other way around where I'm like climbing, and was that a bird or is that a bike and then
yeah,
around the corner. So
gotcha.
very cool.
Did you guys go into the town much?
Yeah, no, we did a decent
We had-
amount.
I say we had to drive through town at least to get to some of the trails, from where, because we stayed right on Spirit Mountain. There's a campsite.
Oh, okay.
So we drove past the top of the lift to get to it. I mean, obviously, last time I was there was in the winter.
Yeah.
But it was still like I kind of remember where we are now and like seeing stuff, and yeah, we went into town. We went back to Ursa Minor, that brewery that we were at.
We had blankets the last time. It was so fucking cold.
Yeah, because it was February and we were sitting
We had
outside.
fires and blankets the last time we were there because it was so fucking. I mean, this was February in
February 20,
northern Minnesota. Yeah. So
very different experience. There was a live band, sitting in shorts, t-shirts, a lot nicer.
Yeah,
but
yeah, awesome. Town was super cool too. We also we walked across the lift bridge and did walk to the beach and stuff. And I don't know, it's just so weird because it's still Lake Superior, which is where Marquette and Houghton both kind of live on. So it's just so weird for me to see people like there be a city on Lake Superior because the geography yeah, I guess geography and geology is very similar, obviously, than to Marquette and Houghton. Like it's the same fucking lake. But it's just weird to see like all that same nature and like felt very like at home. Like I felt like I knew it, but then like there'd be a skyline like at the beach. There's like a small skyline. It's like what the fuck?
Yeah, no, I always remember when Perk was on the bullshit bracket this year, and he came to visit me up at Tech. He's like, so Houghton is just like a smaller Duluth, huh? I'm like, oh yeah, I guess you're right. I hadn't really thought about it like that, but they're very similar. So it's just like a bigger, expanded, a little more urban, but it's still got that same feel and vibe.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. And I feel like Duluth's a little bit more industrial. There's like this weird. I mean, it was very industrial in its past, so there's still a lot of those structures there. But it's just I don't know. It's a weird contrast, and especially like my baseline being Houghton. Duluth was fucking massive. Yeah. So super cool though. Really such cool a really cool state. If you ever get a chance, you should definitely check it out, listeners.
Probably one of my, if not my favorite spot in Minnesota, I think. Just like go and go for a bit. So
yeah, even if you're not mountain biking, there's some great hikes.
They've got a lot of good breweries there too.
And
Blacklist was good when we went before.
Stay away from those student bars.
Yeah.
Or I got so salty last time we were there.
I have a picture of him somewhere. Oh my god! We were at this bar and it was just like Irish, all frat bros.
That Irish bar,
yeah, it was all like frat bros and like us three and Cooper was with us too, right?
Yeah.
And Josh.
Our group was by far the most nerdy, like out of place group there, and there's just like all these frat bros. Jacob is just not drunk enough to have it. So like Joseph and I are like, whatever, we'll
have
stay.
A drink.
You and Joseph, whatever. Cooper is trying to socialize, become friends with all these frat guys. I don't think Josh was there yet, actually.
No, he wasn't.
Yeah, so
it's the next one.
Yeah, so Cooper's having the time of his life. You guys are like, that's fine. I'm just like sitting at the table, just like so pissed,
like visibly pouting. Like imagine a man with a beard pouting, and that was Jacob. It's so fucking funny.
Yeah, that was not a good time, but before that, we had a good time. That was their brewery, the Blacklist.
We went to Blacklist before then.
Yeah, they had that band that was really good. Yeah,
it's a good time. Very hipster, very outdoors. I recommend it highly.
Joseph, anything going on in your last week besides Duluth stuff?
Besides that, nothing crazy that I can think of. Pretty relaxed weekend. Yeah, especially after. I mean, I was home for almost a week and then immediately went to Duluth. So it's like, all right, need a quick break.
I got you. So I'll get my little 2 cents and then Gabe on here about you hinted at before we started about people coming back into the office. But so I got 2 things. One of them is funny, one of them not so funny. But playing this with Lissa last night. So as I've been saying, it feels like every week on the podcast, I've been working out recently, which has been good. But because of that, I've been getting a little bit like bigger in my upper body, which it's nice. Gabe, I know what I'm talking about here. Get a little bigger arms, a little bigger chest. I'm like, okay, cool.
It's a good time.
But I've noticed, Joseph, that my pecs are getting a little bigger, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's not like I feel like when I or guys think about pecs, it's like the two squares or whatever, like
Yeah.
David Hasselhoff in the SpongeBob movie. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
That isn't really always the case, you know. Like my pecs are more just like going out from the bottom and like not as much at the top. It's like a slant. You know what I mean? Like a
Okay.
downward slant.
Yeah.
But the highest point, or the point that's farthest away from my body, is like the outermost corner. You know what I mean? On each side.
Okay.
So your nipple.
So where my nipples are, right?
Yeah.
And because that's getting bigger, I feel like my nipples are showing 24/7. Like when I'm wearing like t-shirts, like the mommy milkers are out, Joseph.
Oh.
I'm like, I'm getting self-conscious about it.
Just
I was
straight
wondering-
nipping
I
out.
was wondering where it's going with
I
this.
know. I feel like, and Lissa's like, you're thinking too much about it. Like I probably am, but
Wait, let's see him on camera. Let's see if it.
Yeah, I was
if
just
it
gonna ask. You should
goes up.
take off your shirt there
Well, it's
first.
like I feel like you can see it through my t-shirt. Like, you can kind
Yeah.
of see like right there.
I don't remember
there.
before though. I haven't seen you in person in
I
a
mean-
minute, so.
It's not a big deal. I just thought it was funny because I feel like I could see my nips a lot easier than before, and I don't think I like it.
Oh my god! Hey, you should just stop working out.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, do I
Buy
stop
bigger
working out
shirts.
because of this?
No, just
Uh,
buy bigger shirts.
Yeah, make it a little more baggy and not worry
Yeah.
about it. Oh my god. But yeah, then the other thing is, so today this morning I was like laying on my couch back there,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like laying in a weird position, I guess, because when I got up, I fucking tweaked my neck, and you like
Nice.
lay wrong, and like one part of the back of your neck is just hurts when you go in certain positions, and it just
Yeah.
fucked up my entire day. Like it hurts so fucking bad, like. Cause you have to like keep like a straight. You can't really turn your neck. You're like turning your entire body, to look. And if you accidentally move it too fast, it'll like hurt.
Mhm.
And like I went into a lab to like do some stuff, and like it was hurting so bad, I was getting like nauseous from the pain. It's just like this fucking
God.
sucks. So I left and I came home and I used my ibuprofen. I just tried to like ice it and like relax a little bit. But it's just like I did it myself because I was like laying in a weird position. But it's just like. It makes me think about it happens a lot where like if you hurt one part of your body, you realize how much you use it then, and the way like your neck is built is like so crucial. And if you hurt one thing, it just like fucks up your entire day.
It's a single point of failure, man.
Exactly. Yeah. So that was not fun, but hopefully by tomorrow I'll be all good. But yeah,
Mhm.
so that was my day today. But anyway, Gabe, tell me about this. People come back into the office business.
No gosh. Yeah, so I mean, I guess I haven't I don't yeah, it's been a minute. So what month are we on? We're in July, mid-July, right?
Yeah,
So-
exactly for day recording.
What day is
July
it?
15th.
The summer's going by
What year
fast.
is it?
I've been doing a lot of shit, so it's been going by fast. Yeah, so I'd say probably a month ago at this point, our company started bringing people back. They kind of so for context, I think I've said it before, but like Tim and I are on a team that like we've had to be in office the entire time during COVID. So there was like nobody in office. Like I'd say like people that I've had to interact with, probably around 20 to 25 people for a year, and probably 50 in the entire building. Most of them, just go to a different part of the building. I never see them.
Right.
So it's like just my group, and then like a few other people that I might see, but super, super rare. And because of that, you get some perks, right? Including you can talk as much shit as you want to anybody who is not in the room, which is everybody about your team. You can swear as much as you want, which you guys know me. I swear quite a bit, quite often. You can be as loud as you want, which is also great. And we also had free food for over a year. But a couple weeks ago, probably I'd say 3 weeks ago, they switched over. So now we have to pay for food, but it's like so cheap. It's not that big of a deal. It's like $4 a meal or something. But they started bringing people back, and it's just so fucking bizarre because I had a month and a half, maybe 2 months of it being normal in quotes,
Right,
and then I don't know. I've been this company for a year and a half now, so the rest of that time, a year and 3 months, with that small group of people. So getting used to like talking to people, or even like seeing people that like I've talked
shit
to
about.
on Teams, or talk shit about. I have to be so much more careful about what I'm saying. It sucks. Like I don't know. Not that it's a huge deal or something I do like that often, but like when someone does something stupid, it's like, I don't know, it's fun to share. But yeah, it's just so weird, like having, people back in that space that like for me was just like kind of just the group I'm in, and then, um, you know, getting used to this stuff changing. I don't know. It's so weird meeting people that you've talked to for almost a year exclusively over like voice chat or just messages, because I don't know, not a lot of people would like actually use their video. And I think that's just kind of our generation thing. We just don't.
Yeah.
I'm coming super young, so
Well, it's like I'm not gonna turn it on so you can just watch me sit and do nothing for this entire meeting.
exactly. So it's weird like meeting people, right? Where it's like I have the only like picture I have of them in my head is this like small fucking Microsoft Teams circle. It's like fucking 10 pixels. So it's like I know generally what you look like, and it's fucking stock photo. And then like trying to figure out if it's actually them is so fucking weird, because you're just like, Max, like hope you're right. And I don't know, even like a couple people asked me who I was. I'm like, oh, I'm Gabe, I've messaged you like 200 times. Like, oh, that's you. Like, you just don't know. It's so fucking weird, and it's still happening. Like week 3, there's still some people that are starting to come back in, and it's just like I don't know if this person or not. It's so bizarre.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, when people started coming back where I work, it was a big thing was height. Like, is this person gonna be 6'6", or are they gonna be 5'4"? And like, because like on you can't tell. Like, you can adjust the camera and how high the monitor is, or wherever. And so like it was like, all right, I think that's them, but I think they were tall. Like the way the angle was, they looked taller. I did not picture you to be that tall or like that short, like and like that's always the thing you never really are sure about.
Then when you meet him, you're like, oh, Max, nice to meet you. You're shorter than I thought you'd be.
Yeah.
And it's like,
I think
you, man.
The other weird thing too is people you like just chat with, like not even do voice chat. It's like there's some people who I thought were kind of assholes, and then I like actually talked to them, like, oh, they're actually like super cool and super fun.
That's just like
I'm guilty of it too, because like I know there's times where I'm messaging people and I'm like kind of being like passive aggressive or like kind of being a dick, but like if you meet me in person, I'm like pretty chill, like face to face. I'll talk shit behind your back if I need to, but
yeah, that's such a hard problem to overcome. Like that cabin in my apartment where I think I've talked for on the podcast, or maybe off the podcast, but whenever we need to buy something in my department, it has to go through the purchasing department, and they have to like approve the order, and they actually do the actual going to the website and ordering it, and then we have to tell them when it gets here. But there was one lady who was in charge, and if you like messed up the little form you submit, she would just roast you to hell, like, and just not be nice about it. Like one of the guys in my life who like just started recently, before anyone had a chance to like teach him how to like what the process was, he just like tried to do it himself. And so he said in the form, and she replied, she's like, I don't know who the hell taught you how to order, but this is not right. You're not allowed to order anymore. Like, she's just like roasting him. And it's this new guy, and I've had not many. I've had like 3 or 4 interactions with her where she's just like feels like needlessly rude. Like you didn't have to be that mean. Like you just take a chill pill. But she retired a couple weeks ago, and I'm not too sad about it. But
all right.
What's funny is like I never met her because she was working from home the entire time I've been here, and like at my lab, like our lab manager, he had like ordered something, and she had to end up calling him to like figure something out. And she called him, and he talked to her, and he's like, she was like the nicest person, and I'm like, that is not the image I have in my head of her. Like, I don't think of her being like, I don't believe you. But the thing is, like, if she was working in the office and I ever had to go talk to her, I would be nice to her, because like that's what you do. But like I talk so much shit about her behind her back because I feel like she's just needlessly mean,
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's funny.
Man, we have so many people. So like, I think I've described it before, but like I do a lot of like the IT builds, and then on top of that, there's a team that like does a bunch of configuration on the build that I make. So we have to work together very closely. The problem is those people are like in and out. Like the turnover is insanely high. Like
yeah.
a year to 2 years, like tops, every time. Because it sucks. It's not a good position. Don't do it. But they're new and they never get taught anything. So it's like every time I get a request from them or like they need something from me, a lot of the times they don't know how to do it. And it's not their fault, but it's like sometimes you get like 5 in a day. So by like the 5th time, you're just like, no, like you have no patience for it, and it's hard. But then if it was in person, it's just like, oh yeah, sure, whatever.
I'm sure, like, even if you had met that person one time before,
it
you
makes it
probably
so
have
much easier.
a much different idea of like how you're reading their thing. Because the other thing too, with the same kind of thing, and I can't remember talking on the podcast or not, but with online dating, for me, it's really hard to talk to people over like texting when you don't know what they sound like what their actual voice sounds
Mm,
like not having met them at all, and like imagining this voice that they're talking in. Like, it's so hard for me because like when I read text from like you guys or anybody, I read it in their voice, the person who's
mhm.
texting me. And so I've never met the person in real life, and I'm getting messages from them. It's really, there's a big disconnect for me on like what they actually sound like or what they mean, or like little like idiosyncrasies they have with talking and stuff. So
I
it's
also
hard.
think some people, I mean, work same way, dating same way. Some people will like type or text in the way that they talk, and then other people will do it in a different way. Like they have a different
Yeah.
style for like texting than they do verbally. And that's always super jarring. Like there's some people like on dating apps, like for example, that will text in such like a goofy and like super fun way, and then you meet them and they're like kind of stiff,
Hmm.
And it's like, and the other way around, where like text messages are like it's just not their thing, or like they just
Yeah.
are very like formal in quotes, like very stiff conversation. But then you meet them in person, they're like super fun. It's just having that element of it too is really hard.
Yeah. I think I'm that way in the latter of like I type a lot more eloquent. Like I try to be more eloquent and more wordy, I guess, or like more clear. But then when I'm talking, I'm more casual and like I guess.
Sure.
Well, I mean, yeah, with that, you don't want to come off not how you want. Like you don't want to have misinterpretation. So you want to like be as succinct and clear as you can. So yeah, I can totally understand. Yeah, wanting to be more wordy or
Yeah,
I
when you're trying
definitely
to like,
think
yeah,
more. With what I'm saying when I was on dating apps and like, all right, how do I want to respond so that I don't come off the wrong way? Whereas like in person, I'm just gonna spew my normal garbage, and
yeah,
if they don't like me, they don't like me. Like,
exactly, yeah, and
but like
yeah,
over text, it's so much easier to because I'm a sarcastic person. I make rude comments, but the people that know me know that it's a joke, and I don't actually
and they could tell by the way
mean
you're saying it in person.
exactly. And
And you
when I
can't,
say
get that over text.
yeah,
Mhm. I
tone
think
tone is huge.
yeah, you
Is
have to
what
have that
I
like
think.
first like hangout to like get a vibe of like how they are, or like
Yeah,
Mhm.
I don't know.
yeah,
The first
it's
couple
So
messages are always kind of formal, or you just full send it. I mean, sometimes that works. Just
yeah, but I don't
some
even know
people
how to text in like, I guess my normal way of speaking. 'Cause I've just always been built of like, because the same with like my essay voice or like my scientific writing voice.
So do you write it like a thesis? You're
It's not
like,
quite that.
dear
It's not that
dear
far.
Emma, I couldn't help but notice.
It's not cranked that far, Gabe, but like it's on that scale, Like it's I don't use thus as much as I do when I'm scientific writing. Um,
On picture 3, you were mountain biking, thus I am attracted to you. If you can reply back, action item. Match with me back, please.
but it's so annoying because like I feel like I use way more words than I would if I was talking out loud because I don't have my intonation. I have to like be as clear as possible. But then I feel like I'm just boring or like stiff or it's like a robot or something, and it's like that's not how I actually am. But I can't express how I actually am over text. Like, this fucking sucks. But you won't go out with me and meet me in person unless I'm interesting over text, and it's this whole fucking vicious
that's
cycle. So
why you end every sentence with LOL.
Or crying emoji.
I know,
Or
and
the,
that's I do
you
that all the
gotta
time, Joseph. I mean, you've texted me. I use
yeah.
lol and lamau or haha in like every single text because it's not a word. It's an exclamation point. It
Yeah.
sets the tone for what your message is. When you use that every single message, it feels like goofy. It's like, are you a real person? Like you're saying lol after every fucking sentence, and
Are you a
There's been
bot?
so many times I'll type in like LOL responding to what they're saying and then comma my part and then end in an LOL. And it's like I just started and ended this sentence
With
in an
an
LOL or like
Yeah.
a lamau or whatever.
That's why I
and
rotate. Like, I have to rotate between.
I feel like an idiot.
I know,
Like
you feel like an idiot. And that's why I have to rotate between lol, lamau, and haha, because I have this like weird thing where like I can never use the same word twice in a text because it just feels like bad writing. Like if I did that, like if I was writing a scientific paper, I use the same word twice. I open the thesaurus immediately and like try to find a different word because I hate reusing words. But when you're texting, it's like, okay, well I used lamau last metric, I use lamau or lol here, and then I can go back to lamau. You know, I just can't use the same thing twice in a row, and
Oh my god,
it's
dude.
so bad, dude. It's so bad.
See, that's why I feel like you gotta give someone a benefit of the doubt, and they gotta give you the benefit of the doubt, right? Like, if you're texting too long, then like shit's just gonna die out or be weird. But if your text too short, then it gets like you gotta find that balance.
I'm just bad at it. As evidenced by I have not gone on a single date yet from dating apps. It's
here's
fucking
what you
rough,
do.
dude.
You just get their phone number and immediately just call them. And then you don't have to worry about texting.
That's a
Problem
great
solved,
idea.
not weird.
No, you just do the video call app or like function on the dating app immediately.
Also
God.
an option.
I've never used it.
If somebody did to me, if somebody did to me immediately, I would just unmatch. I'm like, this is scary. I don't I don't know who you are. You're trying to video
gives me
chat
anxiety.
me.
I didn't even know there was a video call option on.
They added that in because of COVID.
COVID, yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. But
I don't know.
That hits different. For some reason, like somebody, like if I'm like on the toilet swiping and somebody tries to start video calling me through the app, it's like I am not mentally prepared for this. Like let's set up a scheduled Zoom meeting, and I'd be a lot more.
Hey man, I'm taking
that.
a shit right now. I don't have the best lighting. You might hear some sounds.
Audio is shit right
ideal.
now. Yeah, let's set up a Zoom call. You know, I can put you in my schedule and we can work that out because I got a better setup here.
I feel like having it that much more scheduled would give me more anxiety. Like I'd overthink it. I don't know. Like if I'm going, can you guys hear that fucking motorcycle?
No,
no. I mean, I can through my window.
But... Okay, well, it was obnoxious. Were they saying, oh, if I'm like going to a meeting and it's like scheduled out super far, then I like get pretty nervous for like the last, I don't know, 5 minutes up to it, and then I'm fine once I start it. That's how I am with dates too in general, or like just meeting people anyways. Like not even dates, like meeting people. Like the first, like the little bit, like the build up, I'm super nervous. And then once I start, I'm like, just talking to people. It's not that hard.
Yeah. I say
same way.
Well, I saw this meme that was kind of similar where it's with meetings and it's in their schedule they had like a 12:30 meeting or something, and then so from 7 a.m. to 12:30 they had preparation for the 12:30 meeting.
Yeah,
and there's like for 2 hours or something, so it ended at 2:30. And then at the end it said recovery from meeting. And it's like, this is how I need everything scheduled. I can imagine. I mean, the same thing with dates. It's like beforehand, it's like I'm just stressed about it. Then I get in it, whatever. You know, can't do anything at that point. You know, it is what it is. And then afterwards, you're decompressing and figuring it all out.
Oh, for sure. I do think that because kind of circling back to the office thing, like with more people coming back, I just use circle back. You like that?
Oh, you're part of corporate America.
I'm a cog in a machine. I do think I've gotten a lot like more chill with that type of stuff because there's been a lot more in-person interaction. Having like meetings behind a wall is kind of weird, and I've gotten more used to that too. But like I had like 2 meetings today with like people I've never talked to ever before, and I didn't get nervous. And I think it's because I've been like just talking to more people in person, or like maybe it's just practice or whatever. But
yeah,
I don't know. I think something about like talking to people in person, and even like I mentioned it probably 7 podcast episodes ago. It's like you're getting more used to like talking to people again. So it's like,
and you can actually read their body language a lot easier. And
yeah,
it's not as, I don't know, because I feel like if you're like out in like the cubicles, so you're out in the cubicles like talking to like your guy next to you, and it's like, oh, time for the meeting. You walk over, and then you're immediately talking to people again. Like there's not like that anxiety period. It's like I'm talking to somebody, walk in, talking to somebody else, and it's just like boom. Whereas with the online meeting, you know, you're sitting at home alone, and it's like, ah, shit's coming up, and then it's like, all right, time to go in.
Do I sign in? Okay, it's 5 minutes to. Do I sign in now? Do I wait until 2 minutes before? Do I wait until
Yep.
2 minutes after? Like,
Yeah, you don't want to go in too early because if it's just you and the person, then they try to make small
Yeah,
talk. It's like fucking kill me.
I don't want this. Yeah.
you don't want to be the last person either.
Don't be the last
Oh,
person
dude,
because then you're late and yeah.
I've been getting better at like that awkward silence in those calls because like today one guy joined and the other guy was like 10 minutes late, so there was like a lot of silence. So I didn't even fucking care. I stopped caring because it's just
Yep.
like it's human nature when you hear a gap in conversation to try and fill it, right? Like it's just
Like we
both of
all
you
know
guys
we're
being
waiting for
awkward.
this one dude, and then at
Yeah,
some point somebody's gonna be like, all right, we're just gonna go on without him. And if he
but
gets here late, he gets here
yeah.
late.
Well, and then the other call I had today, I had to like work on this thing, and like the customer just needed to like get me into their system and then sit around. So I'm there for like 4 hours working on this thing, and it's like I'm not fucking talking to you for 4 hours while I work. Like
Yep.
mute, and then I'll update you like every 30 minutes. I don't fucking care anymore. But like when that first started, it's just like trying to fill that conversation every time. It's like an Uber driver, man. It's like
Yep. Yep.
it's like you don't need to talk to me. Like just
Don't make that effort.
we don't need to do this.
Yeah.
See, the key is just to be comfortable in your own silence, and then it doesn't matter. That's what I do, and then people say I'm not conversational, and it's okay.
If people say I'm boring, I don't...
That's how it is. I'm just comfortable in my own silence. Gabe knows it when we went to Wyoming.
It's so fucking quiet, dude. It's weird. It's
I
fucking
don't need
weird.
to talk. All right, I can when it's worth it, but
I don't know. I think I was just saying that I'm cool like being quiet, but you push the limits for me. It's not a Zoom call. You're like physically there saying jack shit. It's weird.
yeah.
The last thing I'll say about the Zoom call stuff is like I end up having to like set up or like end up like hosting a lot of these meetings. If I set it up, it's like okay, we can meet in my WebEx room or whatever. And the time it's like because it's my room, I have to get there first, like set up the room so somebody can enter it, right? Like I set up the room, and then the anxiety of like waiting for the first person to join, right? And the first person joins, like okay, thank God, like the link worked, and somebody's here. And then it's like okay, everyone else join as fast as possible, so we don't have as minimal awkward silence or small talk, and then I can start the meeting because like Gabe was saying, if one person's running late, you're just like fucking hell, like get here so I can just like get out of this awkward social situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, hosting hits a little different because like if you're just joining, turn your camera off, mute it, don't got to worry about it too much.
I just hit him with the unmute. Hey, so and so, how's it going? Unmute. That's it.
And then
Until
I
the
walk
next
away
person.
from the computer.
They say fine, and then if they want to keep going, that's up to them. If not, it's like let's just be quiet.
Yeah, exactly. All right, well we got a few minutes here at the end. I found a little article for us to maybe do. It's on parade.com, which is almost a reputable source. 400 wacky, wild, and totally fun questions to ask anyone. We just pepper a few of these in at the end. Maybe we'll use this at some point in the future just to throw in some fun stuff. But I found one that I want to start with for you guys because I love the way it's worded. What's the best type of cheese for you? Not what's your favorite cheese. What's the best type of cheese for you? And I'm going to go to Joseph first because he's the cheese connoisseur. Or at least he was. I don't know if he still is.
I feel like my answer has not changed since college, and that's Gouda.
You're such a snob. You're such a cheese snob.
It's not a snob. I think it is one of the more versatile cheeses out there. I think you can put it on a sandwich. You can shred it, put it on, I don't know, whatever you do with shred. I'd melt it on eggs, Eat it with cheese and crackers. It's a very versatile cheese, and it's unoffensive. It's not like a blue cheese where it can, not as many people like it. It's no one's gonna say, "Ugh, you have Gouda," like that. I don't know the kind of person that's.
I don't know if most people know what Gouda tastes like. I don't know what Gouda tastes like. I don't think I've ever had Gouda or like I've been told this is Gouda and I've eaten it. It feels like a cheese that's a little off on the periphery. It's not a.
It's not like it's not a cheddar. It's not a Swiss. It's a little off to the side, but it's not like It's not an offensive cheese, but it's got a good flavor to it. You know, you can there's like smoked Goudas and like different aged Goudas, so like you can really go full. You can go out there if you want, but you can just go with a standard young Gouda, and that's what that'd probably be the best cheese for me.
Love me a young Gouda.
Hey, it's different. An aged Gouda, it's gonna be harder cheese. Not as soft, doesn't melt as well.
I got you.
He's very passionate about this cheese.
Gabe, what's the best type of cheese for you?
Okay, for me, if I'm going all rounder and like what can I get the most mileage for my cheese?
Gouda.
No, I would just go with the cheddar because it's safe on multiple types of food. Like I think it just you got all your different your spread of types of food you can use it for. But if I'm being selfish and like really like specifically like burgers, I've been doing a lot of like pepper jack cheese. I've been eating that shit up when it's like actually spicy, like it's got some kick to it. Shit's so fucking good. It's
That's
just like
bullshit Crystal Farms.
You get garbage. The cheese and then you get a little bit of spice in there. It's like, ooh, that's what you want.
Yeah, that's my answer. I'm not a big cheese guy. I don't like mac and cheese. I'll eat a grilled cheese. I'm not gonna be too happy about it, But I only.
You're not the grilled cheese king.
I'm not dating.
Grilled cheese guy.
I'm not
like
dating.
Dayton is.
Yeah. And he is. Okay. He still is, and he's not here, so I can say that.
Yeah, he's a grilled cheese guy.
He just uses vegan cheese now, which actually isn't too bad. When he came to visit last summer,
he made some.
It was pretty good.
But yeah, I only really like I would say I like two types of cheeses, and that's pepper jack and provolone. Provolone's essentially nothing. I mean, it doesn't have a lot of flavor, but they put it on Jimmy John's sandwiches, and I like it, and I put it on some certain sandwiches. But I'm pepper jack all day, every day, because like Gabe said, I like the little spice, and I like having cheese in my diet for the versatility. But the fact I can get a little spice out of it, it's a huge bonus. I put that shit in everything. Love pepper jack, baby.
I think you should make a pepper jack grilled cheese because that shit will blow your fucking mind. It's just like
it feels like so good. It feels like, but how many slices?
I think you gotta have another.
Okay.
I think you need a mix. I think 4 slices of pepper jack's a little too much.
How many slices of cheese do you use on a standard grilled cheese?
I feel like you do like 2 and 2, like 2 of like a cheddar and like 2 of pepper jack.
That is so much cheese.
Depends on the cheese and what you consider a slice. Hey,
yeah. I'm thinking even like Sargento slice. I'm thinking like thick ass slice. Maybe it was only 1 and 1. I haven't made a grilled cheese in a long ass time. But I had that. Remember that Artisano bread I used to get?
Yeah.
That was that's a big slice. You got to fill that baby up.
Shut up, Joseph.
we when we were camping, we made pudgy pies, which are
I'm familiar.
Hobo pies. They got a bunch of names.
See, I've called hobo pies something different, but I've always called those pizza pie. You got this cast iron clamp basically, and you put bread. I always do pizzas, but you can do like PB&J, all kinds of different things. Anyway, Gabe went in to grab some bread, and I was like, "Oh, you got to get the Sara Lee Artisano bread." And he looked at me like I was it. And it's good bread, man.
Okay, no, my thing was I was in a gas station. I wasn't at like a grocery store.
Hey, it was a holiday. Holiday knows what's up.
If it was a quick trip, it would have been like guaranteed.
No question. But holiday is questionable.
Yeah, holiday is a little questionable, Joseph. I mean, they're nice, but they're not always nice.
I'm like, he's asking for a specific type of bread in holiday. I'm gonna pick whatever there's fucking available. And sure as shit,
if it's there, that's what you go for. If there's not, then you go for your second choice. But that is always the first choice.
But okay, now we need to break down what's the perfect grilled cheese, because now I'm curious.
2 slices of cheese tops.
That's it? But like, are we talking like thick? Are we talking like Sargento thick slices?
Just standard. I don't want that thin bullshit.
See, the 2 best grilled cheeses I've had, I either did the sharp cheddar American slices, so you get that good gooiness, but it's like more flavor because it's the sharp cheddar, and then you put 2 slices or a couple slices of Roma tomatoes on there. Ooh. Anyway, other one being provolone and Gouda was also a good combination of cheese. And honestly, the more cheese, the better.
Yeah, because I feel like you're not putting enough cheese on, but also I'm wondering how thick is the bread. Because I mean, if the bread's thin, I could see 2 slices, but I already put 1 slice on like a ham and cheese. Only another slice to supplement the ham. I feel like I need at least 3 or 4 slices.
Okay, I'm just saying like that ratio in my head is like You got obviously 2 slices of bread, and then in the middle, I want there to be like a slice of bread width of cheese. So it's like a 2-to-1 ratio in my head. That's what maths out. Maybe a little less than 2, just personal preference. So like I'll go usually 2 slices because I think that, especially like pepper jack and sharp cheddar, it kind of hits that ratio that you're looking for.
If
At
you're,
least for me.
I would say 2 slices per type of cheese.
Yeah,
Like when
I
I
only
did
do
I
one
did
type
2
though.
slices of provolone, and then it was like a block of Gouda. So I like, what the fuck's a slice? I cut it up into pieces and,
See, I think
arranged
that
it
logic's
accordingly.
fine, but I think having 3 slices of the same type of cheese would be kind of weird. I feel like that'd be too much.
I'm
Because then
also
you're
the
not even
kind of
eating the bread.
person to compress the bread
Mm.
when it's heated. Once it gets once it's almost done on that side, you press it down so then it's not as like
That's why the
thick, and then you
Artisano's
get
so good. It's so
yeah,
pressable.
it is very pressable when it heats up,
I
and
I, I
and
miss that
that
shit.
that really ups, in my opinion, ups. Then you get like a denser bread, and then all the cheese.
Speaking of Artisano and Duluth, I remember we when we were in Duluth. We went to that little like breakfast place, that little diner.
Oh,
Yeah,
dude, we went there Friday
Dude,
morning.
and I
It's
remember
so
looking
good.
in the back and they had the Artisano. I think they're using it to make French toast. And I'm like, these guys
That's
know
what
what's
I
up.
had there.
They know
So
what's up,
good.
dude. That place is awesome.
Uh,
What's that place called again?
Louis Cafe.
Yeah, Louis. That shit is fucking good.
Check it out. It's a greasy fucking diner.
Mm-hmm.
if you're ever
Near
in
Duluth.
Duluth.
If you're ever in Duluth, check out. Yeah, shout out.
It was
Sponsor
good.
us.
Yeah, because we sat at the bar when we
Yep.
went. It was because there was like
Didn't like
five of us.
Cooper recognize some girl there or something last time?
That's me.
Gabe.
Oh, it was Gabe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's a story for another time.
It's another story for another day.
Gabe, do you have a question you picked out on here you want to say?
Sure. This one's light. What is something you recently regret doing?
Jesus fucking Christ.
Recently,
Recently regret doing. How big of a thing does this need to be?
I think it can be as small or as heavy as you want it to be. I'm guessing it's supposed to be pretty light because it's on parade.com.
Recently regret. That's hard.
I can start.
Go ahead.
When I was going over this big rock mountain biking, we kind of went to the side and like, oh, that's rollable. And then I hiked my bike up. And I'm like, I'm gonna do this, and that's how I got my leg fucked up because I went over the rock fine. And this isn't like a rock. This is like a boulder, like SpongeBob meme.
it's
It's a
not a
boulder.
bowl. It's a rock.
Yeah, this is a fucking boulder. So I roll it just fine, gracefully. And then immediately there's a second boulder I didn't see because I didn't go all the way to the bottom before I hiked my bike up. And then my foot went loose and then scratched into my leg, and now my leg still hurts. That's what I regret. Not doing a full run through, do a full sight. Doing it.
Mine, this isn't that great. Mine has been like a running theme recently where I just like don't get moving fast enough in the morning, or I just like on my phone way too long. Like I need to be up and doing shit, but I get distracted, get sucked into the black hole that is my phone and my couch. So, been some recent regrets.
Black hole.
Anything goes.
I don't know. I tend to not try to not regret the decisions I make.
No regrets.
Yeah, no regrets. Just kind of, if it happens, it happens. So
Is there
I
anything
don't.
you regret not doing?
I don't know. I mean,
Do you regret not going to Spirit Mountain?
a little bit, but like at the same time, I was pretty sore. I got pretty banged up from the day before. Um, and I didn't want to over push myself, and I
Mhm.
don't know. I don't I would I'm disappointed, but I wouldn't say I regret not doing it. I don't know.
That's fair enough.
I try to live my life with no regrets.
No regrets. Just why don't you pick out one last question to bring us home here?
Oh, I had this will be interesting because I'm trying to think of who it is for myself, but who is your greatest enemy?
Ooh.
Like right
Maybe,
now or ever? Like,
Your
overall.
Your
greatest
greatest
enemy.
enemy. So it could be from something in the past.
Yeah, and I feel like one caveat to that is if you pick yourself, that's pretty fucking lame.
That's too easy.
So, yeah.
Yeah, my self-doubt.
Yeah, like fuck out of here.
This question's hard
I
because
feel like I didn't have that many haters in my life.
because I feel like your enemy is someone who's like actively out to like get you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think anybody cares about me that much or hates me that much. They're like actively trying to plot my demise.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like this is a question that I would often look inward for. Like it's probably something related to myself.
I don't
See,
know.
because I would consider our other roommate Tim my greatest enemy. He
Why's
really
that?
just comes
What?
at me, and
What?
what was he saying yesterday? He was trying to fight me.
Oh, I think I helped
Yeah,
instigate
yeah.
that. For sure.
No, I was trying to get at the microwave or something, which is in a terrible spot if someone's standing at the stove or the fridge for that
Yeah.
matter. You can't get at the microwave.
The kitchen's small.
Small and not designed for 21st century appliances. And so yeah, so he was giving me shit for it. So yeah, I'm gonna stand firm at Tim.
I thought of mine because I just realized they are someone or something that I get great joy in defeating, and they often piss me off. And it's the fruit flies in my fucking apartment. I'm at war with them constantly. I got fucking apple cider vinegar traps out all the time, and every time I get one, I'm like, "You fucker! I fucking got you!" When I slam them against the table, I clap one. You know.
Would you just leave bananas sitting out or something?
I don't know where they're coming from, Joseph. And I have bananas sitting out, but I ate them all. I turned them into banana bread, and they still won't go away. They're in for the summer, and I'm at war.
They only
okay?
have a life of like a week.
I don't know when they're breeding or where they're breeding. They're hiding in the fucking woodwork or something, Joseph.
Probably in fruit somewhere. Generally,
I'm in an old building. There's a lot of little crevices they can hide. I was just walking around today, and I walked past a door frame. I was like, Jesus Christ! I walked by, there's a fucking spider just walking up the wall, you know. But yeah, it's just the bugs in my apartment in general. I saw a centipede the other day, or Alyssa was over, and I was literally saying like the one bug I can't stand is centipedes. And literally, she's like, "Oh, there's one."
Walks in the frame.
It's like, like walked into frame. I was like, Jesus fucking Christ. So
That's awesome.
yeah,
you rang.
my greatest enemy is definitely the bugs in my apartment. Fuck them.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with Minneapolis traffic. Fucking can't stand it. It's okay as far as cities go. It's not a Chicago. It's not New York. It's not in Atlanta. But it somehow is the most effective way to destroy my soul. And it's getting back to the original thing we're talking about. Like people are going back to work.
Yep.
So it wasn't terrible before, but it's getting noticeably worse by the week.
I was gonna say, it's like every couple days, it's like, it's taking a couple minutes longer. There's a handful more cars around me than there normally are.
The mornings are fine. Like I work in the west side of the city, so we have to leave. We live in a city. We go out to the west side. So you're going against the grain.
Yeah.
But on the way back, it is just fucking terrible right now. Like there's a way that Tim and I go that Google doesn't even recommend. It like constantly tries to get you on the highway and like on like a more popular highway, but it's always fucking backed up. So it's like our secret way. But you can get on the street that's just like it's not a highway, it's fucking street, and it's like just before our house. So it's just always backed up, and you could spend so long just sitting there, and it's miserable. And there's no way to fight it except leave early. And we already leave at like 4, which is I think as far as like leaving for work goes, like in typical corporate office setting work pretty good, like pretty early.
Yeah, but it's still not enough, Like
but it's not. No.
Rush hour is like from 4 to 6:30 or something.
Yeah.
Like it's
well, I mean, we've left at 5 a couple times, and it's like insane. It's like it's way worse. So like, I'm glad we do 4, but it's still like, whew. Lately it's been on my mind a lot.
I would much rather have a longer commute that has no stops than a shorter commute that I have to start and stop traffic. I fucking cannot handle start and stop traffic.
That's the same way I am too. Like if I can go somewhere that's like similar ETA or 1 to 2 minutes slower, but I know I'm not gonna be stopping, like in my head, like my mental health is just better. Like it's
That
like I'm making
illusion of-
progress.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
illusion of progress really.
Yeah, that's exactly
really-
the term I use. I think I gave that one to you.
Yeah, we were talking about it the other day.
I call it the illusion of progress, where it's like you at least think you're moving forward. And I know it's an illusion, but it's still progress in my
That
head.
doesn't make it less real to me.
Yes. It's like I know I'm heading away from home, but I'm still moving.
The only time I've ever thought about getting a self-driving car is when I'm in start and stop traffic. Because like if I didn't have to like constantly brake and like if the car could just do that for me, I'd be a lot more chill. I just sit back, listen to a podcast. But the fact I have to like just go and brake.
Okay. Part of Minneapolis being the enemy is it encourages bad behavior. All big city traffic encourages bad behavior. Because if you do give a safe following distance, you know what else someone else sees? Ooh, room.
Yeah.
Boom, right in front of you. And then you're right back to fucking bumper to bumper because people fucking suck.
Yep. That's like that scene in BoJack when Mr. Peanut Butter and Diana are on the highway to Hawaii that they built. And it's bumper to bumper traffic. And so it's a lot of starting and stopping. And Diane's like, can you not start and stop so much? Because like, I'm getting nauseous. And he's like, well, if I don't do it, if I leave too much of a gap, then somebody's going to cut in front of us. Like, well, can you just do it? Because I'm getting nauseous. Like, okay. So then he waits a little bit to start going, and somebody cuts in. And it's just like, it's fucking infuriating.
Exactly. It encourages bad behavior, man. And I mean, I do it too. Because sometimes you have to get over. And in bigger cities, it's not like rural driving where it's like, oh, I'll give you space. Here you go. It's like, no, you fight for that shit. Like
Minneapolis is not that bad for it though.
It's as far as
it's all relative.
Yeah,
relative to what you're used to, it's really bad. But like
when I was coming back from Michigan, drove through Chicago, and it wasn't even rush hour. We left at like I want to say 8 a.m. So we get to Chicago around 9 a.m. local time because we gain an hour.
Fucking sad.
So like, it's not but it's not like that was peak rush hour because it's in the morning. But like, there was still traffic, and cars would just fucking weave through, like getting every like. My brother-in-law always says it, and it really rang true when I was in Chicago. But he'd always say precious seconds. Because, like, I got to get those precious seconds to, like, be one car length ahead.
Oh, I know.
And it's like, it's an illusion of progress. And I'm, just to, like, a higher degree at that point, right?
I hate when you're in, like, on a 3-lane highway and somebody just keeps cutting between lanes to get, like, a tiny bit further. And it's like, it doesn't matter. But the best feeling is when they keep moving, they finally stop. And you didn't move the entire time, and you just passed them because your lane like got better all of a sudden. You're like, yeah, fuck you.
Well, also one of the more dangerous parts of driving is when you're changing lanes. That's when the most accidents occur. So staying in your lane is the safest option, like just by definition. So that's another reason. It's like, if there are a couple times where it's worth it, to change. I mean, obviously, there's times where it's worth it to change lanes, but to like just weave through, like you see some people do. But and then we got to Minneapolis. It was about 4:30, 5 o'clock when we got back to Minneapolis that day, and it's like this traffic is about as busy, but way more calming to me. Like Chicago,
there's always a couple.
Chicago was tense, but like. Minneapolis is like, it's busy. And you're right. There's always a couple of people who are like in a rush and getting there. But it wasn't like constant. Like I could see cars behind me just weaving through. It's like, okay, I can see this fucking car coming up. They're going to cut around. I'll just give them space, let them do what they want. It's better do that than fucking get into an accident.
Fight him or something.
Yeah.
The only advice I can give you, Gabe, you just got to accept it and turn on a good podcast and just get lost in that, so you're not thinking about it too much.
Yeah.
You and Tim find a little podcast to start binging, and
Tim and I just usually decompress from work for the first 15 minutes, and then listen to angry music for the last half hour.
We've amplify your feelings.
Oh, when we have a bad day, it's like the music is noticeably more angry. Like Hallmark of when Tim's having a bad day is he puts on Rage Against the Machine. Uh, and I don't know, I'll play heavier stuff, and we both just kind of get into it, just like yeah, fuck work.
Fuck the world.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you all for listening to this episode of the podcast. As always, you can find our show on Mondays on YouTube and podcast services. Please follow us on Instagram at EWF podcast, and please follow us on Twitch at EWF_podcast. Where we're live Thursday nights and Monday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern. But yeah, until next time, thanks for watching. Bye.
Peace. See ya.